Come on, come on, come on. Hmm. Oh. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport. I'm joined today for Bundesliga action, Wolfsburg versus Dortmund, and I'm joined by Stu Davies, who fan of Dortmund. And how are you feeling about this match coming up? Oh, how are you?
Uh,
Firstly, how are you? That's mainly that's probably the first question I've got to ask.
very well, thank you. I'm a bit tired after my track session. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay, but I haven't watched enough football recently, so l- I'm happy to be back in. I'm sorry, I've completely was lost as well. Um, Basically, I'm just looking forward to a nice clash between Wolfsburg and Dortmund. Wolfsburg, who have been really impressive this season, I like what they're doing at the
Yeah, well,
moment.
like,
I think Glasner could be pinched by some top European club. I mentioned this, I think in our group the other day, of if Tottenham were serious about the next manager they're going to hire, then they should definitely be looking towards Glasner.
yeah,
Uh, we'll see if they actually do listen to me.
yeah,
It's hard to tell with Tottenham. But I think Glasner, yeah, deserves all the praise. And even last season, it was just after confinement when they dropped away, but they were within a shout of top four. Now they're quite comfortably in third place. So Dortmund have got quite a hard game on their hand, I'd say.
yeah. They definitely have. It's interesting to see how it goes because I think they've won last 6 matches. They've always kept a clean sheet, but then Wolfsburg are third in the league.
Wolfsburg are usually quite good at home. I think they've only lost one at home this season, and that was against Bayern Munich. So there's no shame in that. And it was only 3-2 last week. Was it last week or yeah, it was last week. They lost
Yeah, it
three
was
two again,
last week.
and they only just about lost to Bayern Munich there. Okay, Musiala had a great match, and there was no Lewandowski, so it's hard to quantify really. But they're good at home, though, Wolfsburg, and this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it will be.
So no real surprises with the lineups. I mean, the Wolfsburg don't really have many injuries or absentees for that matter. Dortmund still have a few problems, but we're seeing Sancho now back in the starting lineup. He was a substitute last week. Is this a big game changer for Dortmund now that Sancho's back? Can Haaland get who actually got on the score sheet 2 weeks ago, but not midweek during Union Berlin? Is this important? Sancho coming back for Haaland mostly, or is it just for Dortmund generally? Is this essential?
Yeah, I think Sancho makes a massive difference because he'll like hug the line and there's more of an attacking threat, which gives Dortmund a bit extra.
Hmm.
I think it gives like Haaland and Royce a bit extra space to roam into as well.
Yeah, and maybe that's a key factor as well. The way Royce plays, because I've been a bit disappointed every now and then with Royce, and I don't know whether Sancho being back in the team could help Royce operate in more of a free position. I'm guessing
So
so. I mean, it's still, I'm not sure. I still think Royce should probably look to move on sooner rather than later. And I'm just editing something now, which doesn't look very good, but there we go. Wolfsburg on the champions, says Pedro Ferres, I think it's called.
Stat.
So they're coming out onto the pitch now. It looks like they're going to kick off anytime soon. And we're underway already. I don't know if you're underway.
Yeah, I've just started now.
Fantastic.
That 365 was a bit slower getting in today.
Ah, it's a bit quicker. It's a bit more ahead than my stream normally. Bet 365. That's what I found anyway. Uh, Let me just get. I'm all over the place here. There we go. Now I can watch the match quite comfortably. And we've got to come on to we've got to come on to this very obvious topic, the European Super League. So German clubs notably rejected this idea. What are your thoughts? Where do you think this puts German football just in European competitions going forward. What's your opinion on it all?
Yeah, I've always said I preferred like the German model. I think at college I actually did a project where like I said how the German project was like a lot better with obviously with like the fan idea of the 51 and like I've been to like games in like Germany and the experience is like so much better than like England. Like if you go to a football game in England, you're like
Yeah,
100 pounds down
underwhelmed.
at the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I don't know. I mean, I've been to German games, and Jamie likes to mention this often. I was one of the ones who was with Jamie that weekend in Germany, so we both know that. Well, we went to Mönchengladbach and we absolutely loved it. We went to Berlin a bit less, but still, the atmosphere in Germany was something else that I think is something we should model ourselves on. What we should try to look for that in our own game. But is a 50+1 idea the way forward? I don't know what it would look like legislatively, or how people may manipulate that to. I don't know. I don't know enough about it contractually, so I wouldn't want to say, but I'm not convinced it's that easy to get the 50+1 system in. Yeah, to force that upon people, and you probably get less investment as well. So I don't know if maybe fans would be happier, but club owners definitely wouldn't be.
No, they wouldn't.
No. It's now Dortmund and Bellingham on the ball, and yeah, dealt with by Casteels. Bellingham started to look impressive recently. I've been impressed with him. What have you thought? I mean, he's starting to pick up a lot more yellow cards recently, but he's looked very impressive. I think he's now without doubt a starter in this Dortmund team, and he's still only 17. What are your thoughts on Bellingham?
I'm like really impressed with him. Like at 17, to like be able to like play midfield like that. And I was actually saying to Burgoyne the other day that I might probably put him in the Euro squad.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
If he's playing in the Champions League, and
if certain other players can get in there, I think Bellingham's definitely there. Should be there on merit.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as you said, 17, and now he's starting to get the goals. I mean, he got one against Manchester City in the Champions League. He should have got one in the first game as well, but that was ruled out. Scored against Stuttgart the other week, so he's starting to add that to his game as well, which I think is key for a midfielder who can defend but also brings the ball forward very well. He's adding goals to his game.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed with him, and I think he should be in the England squad.
Yeah, that's quite a good all-round get because he can like make a few tackles and his forward passing I really love as well.
So I'm just getting up on my other screen. Oh, Mainz versus Bayern, and 3 minutes gone. Mainz are 1-0 up.
Oh.
Well, I did not see that coming.
No.
But then again, remember this reverse fixture. Mainz went up 2-0 at half time, so you know everything's possible, and especially with Bayern Munich, well, with their injuries. But I say that Lewandowski is back now, so that's a big win for them. They got Muller playing with Koeman and Sané behind Lewandowski, so this is full strength Bayern. Goretzka's back as well.
Hey.
So, yeah, 1-0 already to Mainz. And I can see that it said on the starting lineup that Chan was playing centre-back. Now, I worry about that. I think, remember last time we were on doing this together again, I think it was Dortmund versus Frankfurt, and Chan, I still think it's just a massive liability. I don't trust him. I really don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him at centre-back.
Jamie Burgoyne, Stu, when you in town, mate? Oh, well. When are you in town, Stu?
Too busy watching German football.
That was the right answer. That was the right answer. I don't know when you're in town, Stu. You're in a different country, so I don't know. I don't know all about that. You know, you've got your bars open now, so... To be fair, we do here as well, so we're not really complaining too much. They said 4 conditions must be met so that we can open up places again. Only one of them was met, but everyone was getting frustrated. Like, oh, let's just open them up. Just open them up already.
Yeah.
I admit, I went out yesterday for the first time in a long time, and hit the gin and tonic, and that hurt. That really
I
hurt.
can imagine after a while.
You know, trying to set up the stream today, I was like, oh, shaking. There we go, listeners. Just so if you wanted to know about my Friday night. I don't
Right,
know.
the problem now is it's too crowded.
Yep. It looks like Bellingham's actually just getting a yellow card there, so I'm not... Is he? I don't know. I can't differentiate this green and yellow. They're both very vibrant colours, and I'm struggling with it here with the sunlight.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thinking was. I actually am a big fan of Wolfsburg kit. You know, you see a green kit, you're like, that's Wolfsburg. Or you say it's Yeovil. Either one, but I associate it with Wolfsburg. And so, not Dortmund, sorry, I was talking a bit about Wolfsburg. Their top goal scorer this season, Weghorst, 20 goals in the Bundesliga. Considering that he was one of the top goal scorers last season with 16, he could be, well, he's actually gone past his season best. And I think we underestimate how good Weghorst is at this club. He's been there 3 seasons. The first season 17 goals, 16 in the next, then this season 20. Is he underrated in your opinion? I'd say definitely he's underrated.
Yeah, I think he's definitely underrated. Like, when people talk about Bundesliga players, like you'd rarely get a mention, but keeping constant figures like that, you've got to give him some credit.
And one thing that I'm really disappointed about is he's only got 1 competitive international cap for the Netherlands. I don't get that. I don't know whether enough of he's been in the squads, but he's only played 1 match for competitively, that is, not friendlies included. Whereas Depay, I'm not convinced Depay is a world beater, so I find that one strange.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more on like name and like
Maybe,
merits.
yeah. I'd say so. But Depay, I think Weghorst could have had at least a few more games than that. But I'm sure it'll come around. Well, he is 28, so he's not exactly the youngest. I said this for even last season. I said if Tottenham really were serious about reinforcing their strike force, like with Kane being not constantly injured, but injured too much, if Weghorst would agree to this sort of deal, Tottenham should do their best to try and get him in as a backup striker who will play quite often nonetheless. Now that I look at his season, he's having 20 goals. He could be starting for any of these top 6 clubs in England, or he should be. And now that Wolfsburg, I'm pretty certain, will be in the Champions League, why would he go now? So it's too late to jump onto that boat. Oh, and it looks like it was quite a bad error from Neuer for that first goal for Mainz. Yeah, I keep saying this, and you know what I keep saying? That Neuer is making too many mistakes this season. Way too many mistakes.
Yeah, but that season when he got injury, I think since he's come back, he doesn't seem to be himself like as good as he was.
No, yeah, maybe that injury. I'm not too sure. He was actually decent when coming back from confinement. I know a few games which thought, wow, he's unreal. But this season it started off pretty badly for him. I'd say he's been responsible for quite a few things. I mean, I think notably about that Leipzig game where he just comes rushing out, and this is just what Neuer keeps doing now. He keeps getting caught off guard.
Yeah.
So, and this one actually isn't him rushing out of the goal. It looks like he's just spilt the ball, but I haven't seen the goal very well enough. He's making different kind of errors, and too many of them for my liking. That's why I think I'd say who should be the German national goalkeeper, but I don't think any German goalkeeper has actually had a decent season. Ter Stegen also has made errors after error. I think Leno's dropped as well. Wow. Well, what's the point I'm getting to here? Are Germany good? Leno's own goal last night, I think you saw that.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good. Do you think Germany has a decent prospect at the Euros this summer?
I thought they did the World Cup. I thought they had a good chance, and then that went horribly wrong. So I don't know what's up with them because they've got the players, but they don't seem to be like cohesive as like a unit.
No, it doesn't seem right, does it? It- Even just when you look, there are decent players. Havertz, Werner, examples. Just well, Muller's not in the picture anymore, but he could be.
Oh,
But they should be better than this. Oh, and Haaland looks like he's doing on
oh,
goal here. Is he gonna get? That's a oh. I thought Brooks just got to the ball, but it's a goal for Haaland. The man is back. The man is back for. The, I'm losing my words every single second. We actually haven't talked about what your predictions for this game were. I think that's important, right? What do you predict the
yeah.
game will be? The result will be, Stu?
I was gonna go like 1-0 Dortmund originally, but
I was going to say 2-1 to Wolfsburg, so I mean I could have said 2-0. No, I can't really. Too late. So 11 minutes in, and it's already 1-0 to Dortmund.
yeah.
It doesn't take a deflection off Brooks. It looks like Haaland just sends the goalkeeper the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just looks like a real beast when he's hunting down towards goal, Haaland, doesn't he? Just
Yeah,
scary. Scarily fast and scarily powerful.
Who was a Wolfsburg player who passed that back?
It does look like that. I didn't get a good sight of it, so...
Like,
But it does look that way. So a mistake
oh,
from
let's
Wolfsburg.
see.
And now, Wolfsburg, if Dortmund win this, they're 1 point off 4th place, having played a game more. So, shaky times for Frankfurt. And Frankfurt are up against Bayer Leverkusen later this evening, which
Nice.
could be a tight one as well. So, Bayer Leverkusen win that, they'd be 6 points off 3rd. A bit much now for Bayer Leverkusen to get into the
Yeah.
Champions League spots with 4 games to go. 4 games and 6 points is not really doable. So, Athad saying, sup Athad. Jamie saying, Harry says, that was the wrong answer. I mean, you interpret that however you will, Stu. I think you have to with Burgoyne. Just interpret it however. Not sure what he's trying to say, but I'll just guess I understand. Athad saying 2-1. Is that a score prediction or is that odds? Because it's written with a slash there. So still 1-0 to Dortmund and 1-0 to Mainz. Those are the only goals so far this season. And I think we have to be really impressed with Mainz. They haven't lost since end of February against Augsburg. But they've not... Now they're starting to pick up on form. They're no longer in a relegation spot. They're 12th. So they look quite comfortable now. And obviously beating Bayern Munich. They beat Werder Bremen, Cologne, Hoffenheim, Freiburg. Okay, not the greatest of teams, but they've really picked up from a poor start of the season. And I think they're relatively safe now. I'd guess so. 5
Yeah,
points,
you'd think
5
so.
points and a few spaces ahead of the bottom teams. I think that's good enough. And if they beat Bayern Munich today, well, is it Leipzig's turn to try and close that gap? I'd like to think so. I want to say that, and just in the match, Lewandowski's put the ball way over the bar. Ooh, that's a horrible miss from him. Every time I look back at this Dortmund game, I was about to say Royce is doing something quite neat with the ball. He just fell over there, but didn't give it away. But I'm a big fan of Royce. I really think he's a great player, and he's definitely one that was unfortunate with injuries.
Yeah.
But then there are games where he's in and out for Dortmund. Sometimes you just don't see him, and I don't think that's good enough for a side that really want to push consistently for the title. We're not talking about top 4. This Dortmund side want to be consistently pushing for the title. And is Royce good enough when he's off and on every 2 games or so? Probably
Yeah,
not. That's the big problem, exactly. I'm just...
He's always been one of my favourite players, Royce has. I was so happy when Liverpool got to their Europa against Dortmund, just so I could see him play.
And Neuer just had to pull off another save there. And this game reminds Bayern Munich is end to end. Really good game. And we're watching Dortmund, but so try and keep my eyes on that. So you were happy when Liverpool came up against Dortmund in that Europa League match? Was that it?
Yeah,
That was a good match. That was a really good match. Hard to forget that's anytime soon, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
But to come back to Mainz and Bayern Munich, do you remember who the interim manager for that one game against Bayern Munich was for Mainz when they lost 5-2 to Bayern Munich? Do you know who
Oh
it was?
no.
Do you remember Jan Siebert?
Oh
He
yeah.
was their interim manager for that game. So turn up against Bayern, he must have been saying, "You're wrong, Huddersfield. You're wrong. I am a good manager." Then they did cave. So he was a bit
Yeah,
crazy, wasn't he?
definitely.
Let's be honest, he was a
Yeah,
bit
he was
crazy,
very
Yancy. But
clean.
I absolutely loved the character because he's just mad, but
Yeah.
crazy. And you could tell he probably plays PAS when he was calling Arsenal, what was it, London Reds Arsenal, something like that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, you've been growing up at the Premier League, but on the football game, okay, okay. Greg Livingston says, "Hi guys, have I missed much?" The match hasn't been too thrilling so far, but Haaland's got the goal to go ahead. I think it's starting to pick up on the tempo a bit, but there's been some sloppy passes. It's nothing missed nothing missed so far, except for the goal. I think this match will pick up though. Pretty sure. I'm saying
Yeah,
that, but it's not. I'm saying that like as if it's been a bad match. It hasn't been. It's also a really interesting match if you think that Dortmund win this, they are 2 points behind Wolfsburg. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Now, one thing I criticised about Dortmund was their running. They've got a pretty hard running. If you look, they've got to play Leipzig the next week, then Mainz, who obviously are the form team in Bundesliga at the moment, as I mentioned before, and then Bayer Leverkusen on the last day, who are also chasing for that top 4 spot. So the games aren't really givens for Dortmund, and they're still in the cup, the DFB Pokal, which isn't going to be an easy one against Holstein Kiel, who knocked out Bayern Munich.
Yeah, we had a tough game.
But there's a lower division side, so Dortmund should expect to get to the final.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know. And then if they get to the final, then they come up against either Werder Bremen or Leipzig. I think we know who's favourite in that game as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Werder Bremen actually they've had an easy run to the semi-final. Leipzig as well, actually, except for Augsburg, maybe earlier on. But anyway, Dortmund are still in the cup. They've got tough matches coming up in the Bundesliga. If they pull off top 4, I think Terzic will be aggrieved that Marco Rose gets the job.
Yeah, he would be.
Because Marco Rose is it's just fallen away from Mönchengladbach recently. I mean, they lost to Hoffenheim midweek, which is not good at all. Hoffenheim are no longer this powerhouse that they were under Nagelsmann. I'm saying powerhouse. Just take that with a pinch of salt. They were a decent side, but not anymore. And then there's the weird one where Mönchengladbach, they beat Frankfurt 4-0. Now, that was unexpected. But it was a bit weird after Hutter, the Eintracht Frankfurt manager, had agreed to go to Mönchengladbach and replace Marco Rose. And I thought it was weird that he did that the game before playing Mönchengladbach. I thought that there are some decisions in Germany that really confused me this season, and that is another one.
Yeah.
Things around
Beautiful
Mönchengladbach
way
have been confusing. Like Marco Rose announcing that he was going to Dortmund a few weeks before playing Dortmund in the Cup.
Yeah.
Is this the new norm? And who's giving it away? And Wolfsburg on the ball in Dortmund's half. They don't look too threatening in the last 10 minutes, Wolfsburg. It looks like Dortmund are happy to sit back, but we'll hit them on the counter. And when you've got Haaland up front, I mean, you know you can hit them on the counter.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and Hit's been forced into a save. Nah. You see, even the save that goes right at him, he struggled there to get a hold of it. I'm criticising Hits way too much, granted. But I still think if Dortmund want to go further in the league, in the Champions League, they have to have a better goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't remember if... I think in the Champions League, correct me if I'm wrong, I have vague memories. I think Hitz was actually okay against Manchester City. I'm not sure if I'm right in saying that. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're so
So I don't know. Then there was that goal at Man City scored, and I was like, oh, you should be doing better, Hitz.
Yeah.
I'm critical of my own. Well, I say my own, but the Swiss aren't my own. But I have an affiliation with them. Ooh, that was poorly given away by Pacek. And I was such a surprise that Pacek is still around.
Oh yeah, he's been like around ages.
Yeah, and he just doesn't really. I don't really see him featuring much. So he's 35 now, 36 this summer. He's been at Dortmund since 2010.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. He's there in the Klopp era, in the Tuchel era. Now in the
Yeah.
Rose era, if he stays. I don't know if he might have announced some sort of retirement soon. I don't know. Yeah, quite the servant for the club.
Yeah, I've always liked his Jack.
He was
He's
hard to
slowing
hate.
down a bit.
He was hard to hate, I find.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just seemed like one of those hard grafting players. Just the kind of more old-fashioned right back.
Yeah.
And now Dortmund with a throw in deep into Wolfsburg half. And it's given away by Guerrero. I think Dortmund have a decent squad to be adaptable. If you look at the likes of Reina, who can play out wide, and the number 10 role, Guerrero, who can play left back, left midfield, centre midfield.
Yeah.
It's a very German thing. I don't mean that in the bad way. It's just when you look at Bayern and you see, for instance, Kimmich going all over the pitch, Muller as well. All these German teams seem to have such adaptability, or they are more likely to know how to play more positions than us English players. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the way, and it creates very nice interplay movement that you see often with Dortmund. I'm quite admirable of it. Greg Livingston getting in touch again, saying, "Hi guys, have I missed? No, sorry, previous comment. Who do you think will get relegated alongside of Schalke? I feel Hertha will go down between Arminia Bielefeld and Werder. Are not safe as well. If you look at the table, I feel Arminia win one more games, so they are safe. I thought Mainz would go down earlier this season, so we can always be wrong. I feared for Hertha Berlin for a long time because they are just pretty bad. They really are boring to watch, but Arminia Bielefeld can pull out results every now and then. That's the thing with them. Even if they're playing, well, they got the 3-3 against Bayern Munich. They just get wins every now and then. They won against Bayer Leverkusen, if I'm not wrong. They could just about grind out enough results to be safe, Arminia Bielefeld, and they're not in the relegation spot. So I do think that Hertha Berlin go down automatically with Schalke. And I think Cologne or Werder might be in that playoff spot. I don't think Arminia will be in that playoff spot, the relegation playoff spot, just to say. But I'm not too sure because it's really tight if you look at the amount of points. Berlin are 3 points behind Cologne, so it looks difficult. I think they've got a few games in hand, haven't they? So we never know. We never know, but I just don't... it doesn't look good for Berlin. I want to see who they're playing against just to be sure of those sorts of acquisitions.
So many games in hand.
So actually, Berlin have it in their own hands if you think about it, because Berlin have Schalke to play, Cologne, and Mainz and Arminia Bielefeld. So it's all in Berlin's hands. That's the thing. I don't like their prospects.
Yeah.
Ooh, was that a foul there? Just turned my head to the screen and it looked like Dortmund committed a foul in the box there. That didn't... I think that should have been given as a penalty. So it's Arnold who gets into the box, and it's Bellingham who holds on to him a bit. It'd be soft to give that. Yeah, it's no penalty in the end. Yeah, so to come back to Greg Livingston's point, I said Berlin just a few minutes ago, but I'm not too sure. I still don't like their chances. You don't want to be in that relegation spot going into those games no matter what. So I don't think they're a good team at all, and I don't think it'd be the worst thing if they do go down. It looks like no, Guerrero's given the ball away again, which I'd like to see the stats of how many Guerrero's given away. Piszczek with a... Oh, that's a tasty cross, isn't it? That Haaland was unfortunate not to get on the end of that. That's a really good cross from Piszczek. Okay. Not much going on now. It's Wolfsburg on the ball. After that cross from Piszczek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Piszczek, because it's Polish and my Polish is pretty atrocious.
I always pronounced it like that.
I think we're good with Piszczek. What I think is also quite fun is during these half-2 kickoffs in Germany. Currently, only 2 teams are losing, and those 2 teams are the only ones in top 4 playing today. So, the unpredictability of this league that don't look for financial compensation over pride.
Yeah.
Had to put that little jab in there. It's like Schalke are too big of a club to go down. Yes, Schalke are too big of a club to go down, but I think it's confirmed, isn't it, that they're going down. And the same for Hertha. Hertha are a big club to go down as well. And you would not have the Berlin derby next season if Hertha go down. No, you wouldn't. And I think it's a shame that most of the Berlin derbies recent times have been behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I went to the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, and it's a really old stadium. It's run down. I mean, it's iconic in a way that it's where Hitler made an appearance for. I don't know for whom he didn't play in the Olympics, but he's been there. I think it was 1933. I'm not sure. So it's kind of it's an iconic monument, that stadium, but it's an Olympic stadium still. So the crowd atmosphere is difficult to captivate when you're so far from the pitch.
Yeah, definitely.
Was their big downfall, Berlin, and this is going back to last season, was their big downfall hiring Klinsmann as a manager? Because that's when it really started to collapse. In my opinion, again, Berlin haven't been anywhere near the top 4 since he came in. And I know they've changed managers in between, but it seems like that's had a permanent effect on it.
Yeah, I thought it was strange when they got Klinsmann in, because he'd been away from club football for quite a while.
I think it was strange how he announced he was stepping back. Before he told the board, he told his Facebook followers. So he did a live Facebook stream saying he was stepping down. Which is Marco Royce away with the ball here? Well, it looks like it's going to be a foul there. No, didn't manage to break away there. Well dealt with there by who's the player? Trying to see who it is. Was that Lacroix? I think it is Lacroix. Well dealt with there. Yeah, it's a strange stadium because it's an Olympic one, like I said. So it's not that captivating.
No.
Wait, no, we're talking about Klinsmann. Sorry, I went off topic there. Yeah. But Klinsmann's always a bit of a weird character in that sense. He, as I just mentioned, just announcing your resignation on Facebook. Some people are unprofessional, but that's a different level.
Yeah, he's a strange bloke.
I think punditry's more for him. Even if people say he's not a great pundit, that's your opinion to have. It's just that he wasn't made for the professional world. It looks like Kimmich is down, injured, in the game for Mainz. Oh, there's actually a lot of people around the Mainz player who's down. I think it's Berggart. I can't pronounce it properly. So he's the one who scored the goal earlier on in the game, who's down from a challenge from Kimmich. Yep. So 0-0 in all the other games except for this Dortmund one, where it's 1-0 to Dortmund and 1-0 to Mainz still. Opening the scoring after 3 minutes, and now the goal scorer is currently down injured. And in the stands for the Bayern game, you guessed it, it's Low from the German national team. Always there at Bayern Munich games. Just trying to pep up his successor. I think Bellingham's also dealt with Schlager really well in this game. Kept tight on him. Made sure he's not had enough space to distribute the ball. See, I'm also impressed with Bellingham's defensive side. There is that to his game. He does carry the ball really well forward and link up play when he's in the opponent's half, but he's also very reliable defensively. Well, very reliable, pushing the boat a bit, but he's still someone who you can ask him to defend and he will.
Yeah, definitely.
Unlike certain other midfielders. So Greg Livingston said, I went to the Berlin derby and it was a Union Berlin. And it was the best match I ever watched. Especially Union Berlin fans were singing when the team was losing. Yeah, I remember seeing, I think it was, what was that, last season? When it was the first Berlin derby, that was when they got back into the league. And it looked really something else. It also looks like the Union Berlin Stadium is quite an old one at that as well. But the atmosphere did look unreal. I thought that is definitely one to see. So, I believe you on that one. I just think it's a shame about the Olympic Stadium in Hertha's stadium. Oh, and that's well played. Now Bellingham's just giving the ball away there. I think it's been a bit too easy for Wolfsburg to defend some of these passes. I think Dortmund are just looking for the forward pass without thinking too much about conserving the ball. Should probably just, when they get the ball, stop, think. Try and keep it a bit longer instead of just going, you know what, we'll try and get the ball forward. Oh, damn it. Opened up the wrong window. Now everyone on the stream is going to see a 3D design of mine. I like the... oh no, wait, got confused there. Didn't say anything. I was looking at the stats the other day and I was thinking, Maximilian Arnold, the Wolfsburg captain, oh, there's a dangerous attack here. Oh, that nearly went in, deflected off the Dortmund player. It was a shot from Arnold. I was looking at Arnold the other day and I think I've mentioned this to you before as well. He's been around at Wolfsburg since 2011-12, so he's been there forever, and I thought, oh, he must be getting on now, he must be quite old. And you see, he's only 26.
Oh, wow.
And he doesn't look it either. I thought, yeah, he's a legend at Wolfsburg, if you dare say so. But yeah, been around since 2011 though. I was quite shocked at that. So he must have been playing when he was 16 or 17 for this club.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought he was 26 anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought he was 26 anyway, but I mean, a great servant to the club as well. We were talking about Piszczek as well, been there a similar amount of time. And the corner comes in there. It's Piszczek who gets his head on it. And it looks like it's gone out for a goal kick. Am I wrong there? I just looked away for a minute. Or is it a foul? Yes, it's showing the goal again, and there's a terrible back pass there from Mbabu. Was it Mbabu?
Mbabu, was it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
You don't want to be doing passes like that when you got Haaland.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what's been missing recently in Haaland's game. It's just pouncing onto those little loose balls, and he's just so aware. So aware because he's also non-stop moving. And that's also rare for a striker. A striker can more often not just wait for the ball to come to him. Haaland's constantly moving even when the ball isn't near his feet, just to be in those positions if anything does come into his path, like it did there.
Well, do you reckon he'll do this next season? Do you reckon he'll stay all game?
I thought if they weren't in the top four, Dortmund, then there's no chance he can stay. There's no chance that they can convince him to stay. You can't realistically ask Haaland to stay if they're not in the top four. Yeah. I don't think that's feasible. I don't think that's fair even.
No.
But now, considering Frankfurt stumbling a bit recently, and Dortmund really picking it up, because I mean only recently they've lost to Manchester City. If not, they've started to pick up wins in the Bundesliga and in convincing fashion. And it's at the perfect time, because if they get Champions League football, they can say, "You're not going anywhere, Haaland."
Yeah.
So for me, it was always a question if they get into the top four or not. I think they might just sneak it now. I've got a feeling they'll sneak it. Well, it looks like there's a foul that's gone on in the Mainz-Bayern Munich game. given away by Boateng. Is it a free kick here? Well, they scored the first goal from a free kick, so they look quite tense, the Bayern players. It's not going their way. They've probably already won the title. 70 points might be enough, or 71. So I don't think they'll be too concerned. And Leipzig on 61 with 4 games to play. It's a bit too far behind.
Yeah.
Oh, and they've got the second one. Oh, they've got it's 2-0 to Mainz.
Oh wow.
Header there. That's a good goal. Terrible defending from Bayern, and yeah, again, can I just slate Neuer for conceding the goal that goes right through his arms? I think I'm being a bit too harsh. That was terrible defending from Bayern. I mean, it was terrible of Boateng to give away such a cheap foul, and then Muller and Alaba couldn't agree on who was marking there. And you just got Quaison, who's in the middle of Muller and Alaba, who gets a header on the ball too easily. 2-0 to Mainz. Alaba, you know, that's £400,000 a week there, Alaba.
Oh, when they're struggling financially.
Oh my god. Well, you know, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. Mainz had the same one at half-time coming up to the last game. So, this isn't a given.
Who really can hold on to it this time?
Let's hope. But Lewandowski's back, so if he starts kicking on, then Mainz are going to struggle. I haven't been paying too much attention to this Wolfsburg match, to be fair.
He scored?
Hmm?
Oh, that Latvia, then was it back here at the side net?
Oh, probably, yeah. Oh, no, that looks like, no, that was, that wasn't Arnold, was it? I'm getting that wrong. It was Gerhardt.
I thought that went in at first.
Yeah, it was a decent move. It was Baku who put the ball through. And it was Gerhardt who put it on the side netting. So Gerhardt is the Wolfsburg player. There's one in Mainz's team who scored the first for them. Ah, so that's another name derby. If Wolfsburg play against Mainz. My name derbies aren't that interesting. Only I find them interesting. Now it's Brooks on the ball. Now
that
Hans
365 had done it so you can no longer zoom in on the screen, so you just...
It's a little screen, isn't it? I remember that.
I used to zoom on it, but they've done it so you can't do that now.
Ah. Oh, how dishonest of them. Check with a throw in now. Can Dortmund get another one for half time, or Wolfsburg at least equalise? I'd say I thought Wolfsburg didn't have a lot to play for, but then you realise that I mentioned this earlier in the stream, that they're only now 2 points ahead of Dortmund if Dortmund do win this game. So it's their the third spot isn't looking that safe after all.
No.
And they've got Union Berlin to play, it's not an easy match against Union Berlin. Oh, a chance on the edge of the box. He should have shot there. He tried getting through to Bellingham, but he should have taken the shot on. He puts it through to Haaland, and Haaland puts the ball in, but it goes out for no, not a corner, for a throw-in. Well, as I was saying, Wolfsburg don't have easy fixtures either. They've got this game, and then they've got Union Berlin, which I don't think is a given, then Leipzig, and then Mainz, who have not lost since, as I mentioned, February before. So they have to be careful as well. It's going to be an interesting battle for this top 4 spot. Yeah. Leipzig have probably certain to be second. Bayern Munich are probably certain to be first. But third, fourth, fifth is going to be an interesting battle now.
It was the same last season, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like quite towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. And this win for Dortmund, actually, it's now confirmed that Mönchengladbach cannot be in the top 4. So no Champions League football for whoever comes in after Marco Rose. And Union Berlin as well, I don't think can can get European football either. Yeah, they can't get European football either. So yeah, now it's only Bayer Leverkusen left to chase the pack, and I think that'll be over soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so Greg getting back in touch saying, just let me get that up. Okay. So he said the Union Berlin fans built their own stadium because Union Berlin had financial crisis at the time, no money, and all that's why I have a soft spot for Union Berlin and its fan base. Fair enough. I think a lot of German clubs are based on that industrious background. Like I've mentioned multiple times on the stream as well, that's where these clubs from the west, like Dortmund, like Schalke, like Mönchengladbach, they come from very industrial backgrounds, and it's based on factory clubs. That's what they were. They were just a club for the factory workers to play for, and they've evolved a bit further, and that's probably the same with Union Berlin. I've just got my eyes on the Bayern game as well, and I don't know what happened there. I think Alba's got booked for complaining. So we're up to 42 minutes and 1-0 to Dortmund. And in the Freiburg-Hoffenheim game, it's 1-0 to Hoffenheim. It's Kramaric who got the goal. So that means he is now on 17 goals this season. When you think about it, the amount of goals scored in the Bundesliga this season is crazy. I think the top scorer in England is what? It's Kane or Salah with 18, I'm guessing, around about there. Whereas you look in the Bundesliga, 5th place is... Ooh, Royce is in now. Oh, it's a bad touch. And he tries bringing it back, but Schlager's there to deal with it. And he puts out for a cheap throw-in. Schlager has not had the best of games. I'm a bit disappointed. But as I was mentioning, 5th place is Kramaric with 17 goals. 4th, Weghorst with 20. Silva with 24. Haaland with 24. And Lewandowski with 35. So it's been goals galore in this league this season. Or at least for the individuals.
Yeah, I was amazed when I saw Salah was like, he was top goal scorer. I think Kane's overtaken him now. I was just amazed how he was up there.
Who, Salah or Kane?
And Salah.
It doesn't seem like it, does it? But then you realise he does put a lot of goals in. And Royce is just giving the ball away, tried getting it into Haaland's path, but just a bit too wide of Haaland. Dortmund were trying to push for a goal before half-time, which would probably be good for them.
Yeah.
It's again one of those things, you don't trust Dortmund in a second half or just in a match to maintain a lead. And Reina now. And Royce is giving it away cheaply again, trying to put it through for Bellingham. And this is another game where Royce is just not really on it.
No.
Bad choices, bad passes, maybe. I think he's just overthinking things. I wonder how much overthinking can affect a player. Like, is Royce trying to overthink it there, or is he just his instinct letting him down? I'm not too sure about how world-class footballers think, but that's my theory on it.
Yeah, I always think that he overthinks things.
But now that we're coming to the end of the season, fatigue must play a role, especially in this particular season. Oh, Sanchez in the box. He's put it to Royce. Just a bit short, that pass. We could talk about instinct, but then if you look at this game, the amount of passes that go astray, in the Mainz game as well, I think fatigue probably plays its role as well.
Yeah, definitely.
They're tired. This is the longest season they'll have. Well, the most compact season they'll have. They're trying to finish on time in May, yet they started, what, a month or two late?
Yeah. I'm interested if they'll be like at the Euros.
To think there'll be the Euros after this season is even more dreadful to think about. I do hope there is some sort of recovery plan in place for these players. No pre-season friendlies or something like that, but it's unlikely. Now Dortmund had to defend the corner just before half-time. Nah, it's gone out for a goal kick. Easily dealt with there. And coming up to half-time just slowly. the Haaland goals separating these two teams. Haaland goal in the 12th minute. And I wouldn't have called this complete Dortmund domination. They don't look extremely hungry to try and make this a 4-0. But I wouldn't say Wolfsburg have had any clear-cut chances either. Oh, and the expected goals just come up on the screen: 0-7 for Wolfsburg and 0-5 for Dortmund. So none of them should have been deserved of a goal. That's what it's saying. I think Glasner will be a bit disappointed with his team in the first half as well.
I mean, it's one shot on target from Wolfsburg. Well, and Dortmund as well.
Yeah, one shot each on target. And I remember that shot from... It was from... I can't even think now. I remember because I just criticised Hitz for not catching the ball. That's where the shot on target came from Wolfsburg. But they have...
Oh, yeah.
They've had 9 attempts on goal, which I'm quite shocked with. I think I might be watching another match. There were some shots that went extremely wide, but it hasn't been that impressive. They haven't seemed that threatening, Wolfsburg.
No, they haven't.
Usually, Wolfsburg I'd associate with being quite a solid team. It's one of the best defenses in the Bundesliga behind Leipzig. So they've played quite open. I mean, Dortmund have been able to counter-attack them and run at them, which I thought was unlikely, but this match is a bit surprising in every sense of it at the moment. For me, anyway. What are your thoughts on this first half, then?
Yeah, it's not what you would have expected from the game. I mean, Dortmund, Haaland just took advantage of a bad back pass. But I think Dortmund will be happy because they haven't really conceded any proper chances.
Exactly, yeah. That's the main thing, and that's something that Dortmund don't usually do. They usually will concede clear-cut chances, but so far this match, it's been okay. It's been they've maintained, they've stabled the ship, maybe. And I think
you're at centre back, it's always a worry.
But there are weaknesses in this Dortmund team. There's no denying that. I still think that they'd have to ideally go out and buy some players this summer, but where's the money?
Yeah.
Do they sell Sancho for 100 million, try and reinvest that in the team? Because what would... For you to... Okay, Dortmund might get their top 4. I think it'll be a lucky escape if they do, given where they were maybe 3 weeks ago. But if Dortmund do get top 4, what do you think the plan is for Dortmund going forward? Is it selling Sancho? Is it keeping him? Is it trying to just buy budget goalkeepers, budget centre-backs? What do you think would be the perfect thing for Dortmund to do this summer, if they do finish in that top 4 spot?
They remind me of like the Liverpool situation where Liverpool sold Coutinho and then they got Van Dijk and Alisson in. I think Dortmund need to do something like that.
Could you think
about Sancho, and then I don't know who they'd get.
So you'd say sell Sancho?
Yeah, I can get like a world-class keeper and central defender.
Because I think Sancho is replaceable at Dortmund. I'm not saying that he's probably their best winger at the moment at Dortmund, but you've still got the likes of Royce who can put a shift in. You've got the likes of Reina, who I still am a big fan of. He's still really young. And all these sorts of players that come through. Even Bellingham could be some sort of provider in that position. I do agree with you. I think Sancho is the one to sell, not Haaland. Haaland is a lot more decisive with his goals, and I think world class and still can be better. So yeah, selling Sancho seems realistic as well. Because I think they'll probably get less than the 100 million euros that they wanted last summer. They do that, then they have to get a good goalkeeper and a good centre back in, which is a possibility. I mean, even looking, they could take the other centre-back in this match, Lacroix, who's 21 years old and been very impressive for Wolfsburg this season. I think if Dortmund finish top 4 and have that Sancho money, that's a big possibility. You put him next to Akanji, you've still got Zagadou, who's young. Hummels might be the one who has to move on, and maybe they can make by with Meunier or as a right back still. I think it's just mainly centre back and goalkeeper. Now the goalkeeper, who they can get, hard to tell. It's really hard to tell, and for a decent price, because I can't even think of one off the top of my head right now who they could possibly buy.
I can think of one.
Yeah, or one that's young, because that's their policy, isn't it? They buy young
Yeah.
goalkeepers. So I'm not too sure, but there definitely could be some goalkeepers. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm confident Dortmund would find the right ones, but a centre back and a goalkeeper with Sancho money. That's the way forward, I think, for me.
Yeah, I just see Shan start in at centre back. It's like I'd definitely be getting a centre back in.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to be relying on Chan as a centre back. I hate that idea. But even so, Hummels is suspended today, so that's why he's not playing, and they've got Chan at centre back, and Zagadu's still injured because I mean
Mhm.
that's just Zagadou.
Yeah, it is.
Hasn't really participated much since arriving at Dortmund. He's still only 21. Another player that was brought from Paris. You know, the amount of Parisian
Yeah.
players is quite impressive. Anyway, yeah, I don't like the idea of Chan. Could they even sell Chan? I think realistically they could sell Chan and get some money for him. He's only 27.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility. And plus, I think also Bellingham is the main midfielder now, so
Yeah.
you get Witsel back not too long. I don't know how long Witzel's injury is. I think he's been out for quite a while now, so you have Witsel, Dahoud, Bellingham. The midfield's okay. Now, what do you think about Wolfsburg? If Wolfsburg were to get to Europe, what do you think happens to them afterwards? Do you think they invest heavily? They just avoid selling, say for instance Weghorst? What are the prospects for this Wolfsburg team in Europe? Do you think they can actually do something quite interesting in Europe, or it's just one of those back in the competition, back out straight away?
I think if they're sensible in the market and like try and like keep their top players and don't get bullied by other clubs, they should be okay. They always seem to be in and around that top four battle, and some years they just seem to fall away towards the end. But they need to do something to try and maintain it.
Yeah, I'd be a bit. I'm not too worried about Wolfsburg, as I mentioned before. They are defensively solid enough, so I think that gets you
Yeah.
somewhere in Europe without getting completely humiliated. I'd worry for Frankfurt if they were in Europe.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I think they could be on the end of some really heavy defeats. I don't see that with Wolfsburg, but I don't see this Wolfsburg team getting far either. If they have the finances, then maybe reinforce the team. But it's a bit difficult to reinforce the team because if you look, all their somewhat young players are. Wait, no, their young players are not. Didn't say anything. But where did they reinforce Wolfsburg? I think they've got a reasonable midfield, a reasonable defence, reasonable striker. And Casteels has been a reliable goalkeeper for them for a while. I don't think it's like the Tottenham conundrum. You know they have to buy players to go further, but
Yeah.
who do they buy? Because it seems like that back four is settled. It seems like that midfield is settled. It seems like that front line is settled. It's great saying that they should improve, but then it all just seems like a good mix. So it's hard to see which player would fit in that system. I feel like that for Wolfsburg. They're so well set up that I think that it'd be hard to say, we'll just bring in another winger. Well, okay.
Yeah.
It seems like that team is settled, so there's no point in trying to change much. I'd say they probably don't have the finances to go out and buy big amount, spend a lot. They probably just need more squad depth. And if they can rotate that well enough with Champions League, then they could probably get to the next rounds of the Champions League, depending on the draw, and still try and maintain a top four battle in the Bundesliga. If they finish fifth next season, it's not a bad season either.
No.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at that Mainz goal, and that was a really, yeah. Neuer does really badly there. It wasn't a free kick; it was just a half volley from outside the box, and it just comes at Neuer, and he doesn't deal with it well enough. Greg getting back in touch, saying, let me just try and find what he said. What team do both of you support? So, I'm not a supporter of any team. I like to stay very neutral because I don't even know why. I just don't support a team. I just watch football. Stu is a Liverpool supporter, but if you were to choose a German team, which one would it be, Stu?
That'd be Dortmund.
It'd be Dortmund, exactly. So Greg also is asking again, what happened to Swiss keeper who normally started games for BVB before Hit started to go in goal? Roman Berkey, because I thought he was a good keeper for Borussia Dortmund. I didn't think he was a good goalkeeper, but I thought he was better than Hits. And if on this stream, I think we mentioned with Jamie multiple times, when Berkey was still a starter, that we're far from convinced But when he was no longer injured, I thought, okay, he's back in the team. Hitz is a disaster waiting to happen. But no, Terzic seems to still trust Hitz, which I find strange as well. I'd agree with Greg on this one. I think it's a bit odd that Berkey isn't starting. But I don't think he's much better than Hitz either. Berkey is only 30, if I'm not wrong, and Hitz is, I think, a bit... how old is Hitz? 33. Okay. But yeah, I'd say goalkeepers where they need to reinforce Dortmund. I think they've lost matches where they concede too many silly goals. I think there was one against Mainz when they drew 1-1, and I thought... I think it was Berkey in goal for that game, and I just think, well... Okay, if Royce scores the penalty in that match, they win the game. If Berkey doesn't make an error, then they win the game as well, and those could have been 3 vital points. That's where the difference of goalkeeper is seen. So... So just to go through a few of the results at half-time. Got Freiburg 0, Hoffenheim 1. Hoffenheim looking to guarantee safety with a win today. I think if they win today, they are guaranteed safety. So that means the 11th place and above are all safe. Mainz 2, Bayern Munich 0. So if you remember the reverse fixture, Mainz were 2-0 up at half-time as well. And Bergdorf also got that goal in that game as well. The 20-year-old German striker who could be a good prospect. Actually, Burkhardt has scored 2 goals this season. One came in the reverse fixture against Bayern Munich. The other came today against Bayern Munich. You know, if you're going to score against the best.
Yeah, definitely.
So they were winning 2-0 at half-time in the reverse fixture. We know how that ended. Bayern won 5-2. Can they do the same today? I think might put a little bet on that.
Worth it.
Why not? Why not? And Union Berlin 0, Werder Bremen 0. Werder Bremen, it'd be a decent point for them. They're just above the relegation playoff spots, and they probably need a few wins. But a draw pulls them 2 points clear of Cologne, who are in that relegation playoff spot. I think Werder Bremen might be okay. And then in this game, it's Wolfsburg 0, Borussia Dortmund 1. Possession-wise, Dortmund have just about had the advantage with 52%. Attempts, Wolfsburg have dominated 9-2, and each team has had 1 shot on target. So yeah, not much to shout about in this game, but I'm sure it'll improve. Maybe it's a typical end of season game, isn't it, where you're tired. Just too much football now. So I'm actually going to see how much it is to bet that Bayern Munich win 5-2. Because why not?
It's always worth a punt.
So
I've only just seen the Liverpool statistics.
what would it look like for Liverpool in that game? I didn't really get to see much of it, unfortunately.
It looks like they've got like loads of shots. Like the XG was like 3.4.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah. For Liverpool, that is, because it looked like there were a lot of chances wasted from Liverpool in that game. Or I thought, at least, Liverpool looked completely dominant in that game. So it's another one of those things. They need a clinical striker, or just not to concede silly goals.
Yeah.
Because Alisson actually made a few decent saves in that match. Again, I was watching it in the background, but I saw every now and then Alisson pulling off a save. Like, okay, you got a decent Liverpool side again, but conceding late. How many is that at home they haven't won this season? So if you look at the standings and look at home form, they're still sixth in if you just take the home table.
Oh wow!
They're even ahead of Leicester. They've got more points at home than Leicester this season, which seems shocking.
At the start of the season, we had like the best home record by a long distance. And
yeah, exactly.
December, it's just gone downhill.
It's that first time they lost at home, and it was against Burnley, and
Yeah.
just fallen apart since then.
Yeah, I just saw the last 5 minutes today, so
Ah, yeah. It didn't seem like the most thrilling match of all.
I think Klopp said if we play like that, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League.
Well, he's got a point, hasn't he? In all fairness to him, so.
Yeah.
Where is it? There we go. There we go. So, do you think that this is still going to be a Dortmund win? Do you think
Yeah, they
Wolfsburg will turn
seem
it around in the second half?
they seem quite comfortable, so I think they'll still win it. And then they're always a danger in the counter with Sancho and Haaland.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where both teams are respectively? So, do you know where Dortmund are if you look at the away table of Bundesliga this year, and where Wolfsburg are when you look at the home table this season?
Oh no!
They are both fourth. They're both fighting for fourth, so they're both fourth in their respective tables of the game today.
Oh no!
So, hard one to call maybe, but you could have put a draw on this match quite easily, given both teams' form and different factors. But Wolfsburg just needs to get shots on target, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I think Dortmund need to be a bit more decisive in that final third. Get the passes right. The passes have just been astray. Like, oh, and we're off for the second half. So away we go. I think it's just been decisive. Dortmund, they look like they can get the ball forward quite well, but then it's the final pass that keeps letting them down. If you look at Royce, typically, Sancho's even been a bit off it, but Sancho I think we can forgive for, because he was injured for a little while, and he's just coming back now, first start since that injury. And Wolfsburg seems to be showing intent from the first minute here in the second half. That's Hitz who's passing it out to Chan. And Guerrero. Oh, that was a terrible clearance. And now Weghorst is in. Oh, he puts it over.
That was a big chance.
That was a very big chance. It was cheap from Guerrero to give the ball away like that. Should be doing better there. But Weghorst, he leans forward, so that's not the reason why he's putting it over. But it looks like the ball is in an awkward position and it bounces a bit. So that might be wise. If Wolfsburg wanted anyone on the end of that chance, it was Weghorst.
He looks devastated, doesn't he?
He does. Still a big fan of Weghorst. I'm a big fan of the Wolfsburg kit, so might go shopping for one of those. I'm a big fan of the green. I think you noticed that. I think you saw that I bought myself a Lazio away shirt.
I love that Lazio one.
I decided to get the Immobile one. I thought it's the best. It is just one of the best kits. And Lazio's the team in Italy that I've kind of for which team I've got a soft spot. That's Guerrero going up the wing.
I've just got a soft spot for him because I have Lucas.
For Lucas. But it's a great midfield three with Lucas, Milinkovic-Savic and Alberto.
Oh yeah,
it's the thing about Lazio is they probably not got enough depth, so they struggle near this part of the season or in Europe when they have those European matches. But on their day, they're brilliant, and it's again that same old problem that I was mentioning about Wolfsburg. It's a set team. If you buy a player, where does he fit into that?
Yeah, definitely.
It's too awkward. It's not like Atalanta where you got one that comes in and replaces the other, and they do the same shift. It's too 11 men based in that Lazio team that it's hard to find a purchase in the summer because you think who's deserved of sitting on the bench? Well, none of the 11 here.
Yeah.
Even Pepe Reina's in goal for them, so. And he's there for he's in goal quite often for them. Greg getting back in touch with us. So he's saying, I think Klopp was too defensive today after Liverpool scored, and they had chances but never looked like scoring another goal. And Liverpool sat so deep and allowed Newcastle to come forward, and they scored. Maybe they did. I didn't really see the game well enough, but I thought Liverpool had ample amount of chances, and you can't really. I don't think there's any justification of being defensive against Newcastle. If there's one team you're not allowed to stay defensive against, it's Newcastle. They will sit back even if they're playing a League Two side. So
yeah, definitely.
you can't invite the pressure, especially when Callum Wilson comes on, because Wilson came on later and he's their top scorer. So why sit back and invite pressure from such a lethal striker?
That's always frustrated me with Liverpool. Like that, it's always like the last 20 minutes they just drop right back.
Mm-hmm. Is it Liverpool?
It was alright when they had Van Dijk there to win things, but
well, I think Klopp's scared without Van Dijk and Gomez because they're a bit more athletic and can run really fast. So you can allow yourself to play that high line when Arnold's just trying to get a shot in, but Bellingham gets tackled. It's out for a corner apparently. But yeah, with Van Dijk and Gomez, there's enough athleticism so you can play that high line. They play a high line. That's how Liverpool play. They play it similar to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich don't have pace, but Liverpool do. Do Liverpool have pace when they've got Kabak and, I don't know, say Phillips? Maybe not.
yeah, no.
And the corner comes in from Arnold. Hitz is struggling with these crosses, but he's got it in his palms now. And Sancho looks like he could run away down the wing here. Can he get in Haaland? I think that might have been marginally offside. Yeah, that looked like it was offside, but the shot comes in and it's reasonably close to Castile there to save it. But that looked offside. Yeah. It was coming right at Castile, so not too hard to deal with. But it was a powerful shot there. You see, he's saying to Sancho he wants it forward quicker. I mean, don't think Sancho could have done much, honestly. And Guerrero, every time he gets the ball, like he did there, he tries some sort of complicated pass with the outside of his foot. Like, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
It works 1 out of 5 times. You've put your own team in danger a few times in this match just from doing a silly clearance. But there it worked, so how can I criticise him? And the ball just needs to come down here. It's bouncing up. Comes off Haaland's right foot, and Royce looks like he might be in here. Just difficult there to get it past. Don't even know which player that was. The centre back. Was it Brooks? I like it. And Union Berlin have got a goal, so it's weird that Union Berlin get a goal when Max Cruz comes off the pitch because he's been Mr. Reliable for them over the season. I think their top goal scorer, 10 goals in 18 games. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the only score that's changed in the second half so far. 6 minutes in. And Sancho gets to Guerrero. Oh, a nice back heel. And he's putting Royce there. Brooks just gets a last ditch tackle in there. Goes out for a corner.
They've upped the tempo now.
They've upped the tempo in the final third. I think Turchik just basically said that, okay, if you want to do your back heels or whatever, it's got to be instantly. It's got to be quick, incisive. Can't be trailing around then think, oh, I'm going to do a back heel into the space. No, because it's already occupied. They're getting the ball forward quicker now. Which you expect from Dortmund. The corner comes in from Sancho. Ooh, Kanji got on the header there, but I don't know who it was on the line who managed to clear it. Player went down there and it's bounced off him again. Don't know which player it is, but he's down. It hit him in the build-up. Oh, it's Akanji, sorry.
I think Clyde's a Zoom player.
Yeah, so Akanji tries putting the header in, and it's Arnold who gets off the line. And then it's his own player. It's Chan who knocks him over afterwards, is it? It's Chan. Oh, good old Chan. Couldn't can always rely on Chan to injure the opposing players or your own players.
Yeah.
And Dortmund had a
Yeah, I
goal
remember.
kick. I think we missed something there. But you see Royce getting it forward to Guerrero now. It's quick. It's better. If you're going to catch Wolfsburg out defensively, then it's got to be within a few milliseconds. Like forward. Guerrero now to Royce, who's got Arnold on his back. And Akanji gives it away cheaply, and Wolfsburg can break here. It's Baku. Can he find Weghorst in the centre there? Looks like he might have been cheaply clipped by Royce, but the referee hasn't given it. Ooh, Akanji playing it dangerously there. And Bellingham gets lucky with the rebound there. And Piszczek again, but he's lost it. Wolfsburg are trying to play a much higher pressing game now.
Yeah.
They're both trying to play a high tempo game in their respective fashions, but end of the season, fatigue. Let's come out with the cliche again there, Stu. Is Reina American or German? Because some reason I thought he was German. Reina's American. He's played for the national team, and he's a good prospect for them. I like the look of Reina. And the corner comes in. It's just missed. But yeah, Reina, how old is he now? I think he's still only 18. Just going to check now. Yeah, he's 18. And yeah, he plays for America. But what a prospect. I think he was born in Britain as well. Because his dad played for Sunderland, if I'm not wrong. And he was born in Sunderland. So you've got Haaland, who was born in Leeds. Sancho was born in England somewhere, I think London. And Reina, who was born in Sunderland, yeah. Sunderland, Leeds. Woodland. Ugh, I can't even say any words anymore. I'm lost. And Union Berlin have got a second goal. And so it's Pajanpolo. Pajanpolo, that's his name, I think. Finnish striker.
Yeah.
Who's got the 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes for... Oh, in the space of... It's written here. 3 minutes for Union Berlin. Okay. Oh, there's some ugly scenes here in Mainz and Bayern Munich's game. Player bleeding quite profusely from the head. That looks bad. I can't see which player it is though. Yeah, it's Barrero there. Barrero Martins who's down. So the 21-year-old who's from Luxembourg. I don't know. I like it when people come from different places. Bellingham's on the ball. Now Sancho looks to move it quickly. He's got Piszczek overlapping him. It's intercepted, but it's still a throw-in for Dortmund. So that was dealt with by Otavio. And Wolfsburg are trying to just be a bit clever about keeping tight on the Dortmund players when they get into their own half. Just don't let them turn. Then Dortmund won't play as quick, and now it's calmed down a bit in the second half. Got Greg back in touch saying I like the young Cameroon striker who plays for Dortmund. He's only 16 and he's a great prospect. He has a bright future at Dortmund. So the player you're talking about is Moukoko, is he? He is actually German, no Moukoko. He plays at, I think it's youth level for the German side. I think I've read that he's German anyway. He was put on the list for Dortmund's squad at the beginning of the season, despite being 15. Now, when you're 15 in Germany, you're not allowed to play in the Bundesliga. Ooh, and a cross coming in there from Piszczek, but it's dealt with by Wolfsburg. Anyway, to come back to Moukoko, he was too young to play at the beginning of the season, and they put him on the list anyway, and waited till November when his 16th birthday did come around, so he could finally play. And he looks like a great prospect. Even Haaland has said he's a better striker than him, and that's Haaland, who's fairly arrogant himself. saying that someone else is better than him who's only 16. Lukaku will surely be a great player, and he's at the right club, isn't he? At Dortmund, who promote youth players.
Oh, I think he's got a go.
Oh, it's second yellow for Bellingham. Oh. Just as we're praising him so much. Oh. No. It's a yellow. Oh, and his knee bends back quite badly there, but he's not injured. But it's unfortunate, but it's a big error from Bellingham himself. Did you see how his knee bent back? Bellingham's knee.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought he's the one standing up at the end. I don't understand. That looked really bad, but it's silly from Bellingham.
I think that's where like experience, lack of experience has cost them.
Yeah. This is a big. This could be a turning point if Wolfsburg get back in the match, because Dortmund realistically need this win.
Yeah, they do.
If they lose this, then they can probably say goodbye to top 4, because you don't think Frankfurt will lose every single game till the end of the season. And Hummels is warming up, so I'm guessing Turcic's thinking is probably taking off Chan, or he might take off Reina, put Chan in midfield, and put Hummels at the back. So still remains to be seen what will happen. Got Jamie saying, Stu, Lewis has been lobbed out of the old PO. Can you translate that for me, Stu?
Tight.
What's what?
Did you say lock tight?
He said, I thought it was oh no, sorry. Lewis has been lobbed out of the old PO. So I don't know what that means. Do you?
And the OPO is the old post office, which is a pub.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. So it's actually Sancho has been taken off. Makes sense, as I said before,
he's just
coming back from injury. And Greg's saying, I thought he was from Cameroon when I heard about him, and they say he's from Cameroon. He might have some heritage there. I don't know. I'm just looking on an app now, and it says that he's German, so I'm just thinking he's German by that same logic. I don't know. He might be Cameroonian. So this has changed a bit for Dortmund now. It's actually Delaney who's come on, not Hummels. I got that wrong. Sancho's come off.
Hummels was definitely got a shirt on.
Who'd you say?
Hummels definitely got a shirt on, so unless he's going to come on in like a couple of minutes.
Maybe. So, still in Freiburg, Hoffenheim, it's 0-1 to Hoffenheim. 1-0 to Hoffenheim, sorry. 2-0 to Mainz still in that game, 61 minutes played. It's still 2-0 to Union Berlin against Bremen, and still 1-0 here for Dortmund. But this is going to be interesting now to see how they can fend off the Wolfsburg danger. I don't see Dortmund getting another goal now. I find that hard to believe. And I understand why he took off Sancho, because he's coming back from injury, and that makes sense. But I don't think you want to play with 10 men with Royce in your team. That's what I'd say.
No.
So will he come off soon? I'm going to take a guess and say yes, he will come off soon. So Brooks now taking on Haaland. And yeah, Haaland, like he's fouled there by Bamboo. Now, this is where Haaland can be great, because he's great at holding up the ball as well. So one thing you want when down to 10 minutes, someone who can hold the ball up high up the pitch, who can kill the game off. That's definitely a strong point of Haaland.
Yeah, definitely.
He can do everything. He can do everything. It's going to be a free kick now and Royce to take it. Let's see if Royce can find Haaland. He plays it back to Delaney there.
I think it was Munich, Dortmund. I think it was Gnabry was like through, and then like suddenly Haaland came through and like did a last ditch tackle. And I was thinking it was like one of the defenders. And I thought it was Haaland. I was like, wow. Like,
It's impressive. He's almost like that hard-working Kane figure as well, who can do everything.
yeah,
I still think Kane is a bit more of a complete player in different ways, but Haaland is on the
yeah,
path to be one hell of a striker.
yeah, definitely.
So now, Brooks on the ball. Oh, sorry, no, Lacroix on the ball. Tries getting across him, but it's dealt with by Dortmund, by Piszczek. Oh, and that was a poor ball there. I think that was Rayner who gave it away, and Wolfsburg could have a decent chance here. Arnold looks like he can take the shot on. I think everyone thought he was going to take the shot on too, even his own teammates. That's why they were also shocked when he tried playing it through, and it's gone out for a goal kick for Dortmund. We've actually got on our Let's Talk Sport WhatsApp group, we've got Burgoyne, who's present on this chat, saying, Stu, come town after stream XOXO. So, I'm just going to get Greg's comments up as well on that, again on the stream. He's asked, is any of you guys on tomorrow? None of us two are on, but we've got a variation. Oh yeah, you are. You're on the list. But we've got variations of sports. We've got Luke Tanner, who's going to be covering the UFC tonight. He's doing an all-night stream, so do make sure to tune in if you are into any sort of UFC, or just tune in to keep Luke company. We feel bad for him staying up at 1 a.m. in the morning till I don't know what time. Then tomorrow we've got good friend Jamie, who's the main guy on this channel, because Jamie just keeps doing these non-stop. He's a madman. He's on tomorrow for Man United women and Spurs women, Bayern Munich women versus Chelsea women as well tomorrow. So he's doing 2 games in a row. Then the Carabao Cup final with Joe Stanley and Stu here. So tomorrow is a much more complete day for the channel. So make sure to check in on that. So now Wolfsburg on the ball just inside Dortmund's half. And to be fair to Dortmund, they're maintaining their shape. They're not really, again, conceding any sort of clear-cut chances. There's more no-nonsense in this Dortmund backline with Chan in it, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be the expert of, making some sort of errors, but no, when the crosses are coming in, they're clearing their lines very sensibly. But then, that's also, you've got players like Akanji and Piszczek who are a bit more defensive-minded than those two, so...
Yeah, definitely.
So that helps. I've just seen in the Mainz game that Boateng is now down. It's still not It's still not a goal back for Bayern Munich, so this could be interesting for the league. So Leipzig just have to win against Stuttgart, and the title won't officially be Bayern's yet. Leipzig have won one of the last 4 games in the league, which is, to be fair, not great. Since they were knocked out of the Champions League, they drew to Frankfurt. They beat Bielefeld just about. They lost to Bayern. They beat Bremen. Then they drew to Hoffenheim, and then lost to Cologne last midweek. So their form is not great, and you'd hope, I hope for Leipzig's sake, that Haaland's in on goal here.
That Haaland's got another.
He's got another. He has got another, and they're down to 10 men, but Haaland has done the hard work, and it's a class goal. It's Haaland. What can you say? It's Haaland. He is world class, and just the speed at which he breaks. So Wolfsburg really shot themselves in the foot there. They really did. It's an easy goal for Haaland. He's so much quicker than those defenders. He's quicker than most people on a football pitch. So don't give him space to run into. So it's Brooks who gives the ball away. It was Berat who couldn't get his foot on the ball. And then is it Delaney who releases Haaland? Arnold can't get back. Arnold can't possibly get back, or Lacroix either. And Haaland one-on-one, you bet on Haaland any time. Good goal from Haaland. Good goal. And Castile's visibly angry at that one.
Who had made that pass?
I think it was Delaney who put him in there. But technically not an assist. He got about, what, 5 or 6 touches before scoring, so technically not an assist for Delaney. Or was it Reina? I'm not sure.
I don't know what you do as a keeper when you've got Haaland running at you.
Well, the keeper can't do anything there.
You
I
can't
don't
do
think
anything.
the keeper can't have done much for any of the goals. Even if the first one is near him, Haaland is too close to the goalkeeper to be able to actually expect him to make a save. I think Wolfsburg have shot themselves in the foot twice defensively. That time staying too high. Naive as well, because they might be one man ahead, but having no defence back. I always have the principle in my head that the furthest the last defender should be up is on the halfway line in the centre circle. Like with a corner, you just stand on the centre circle. Because afterwards, a striker can stay in the centre circle, can be onside for multiple reasons. For instance, Haaland started to run inside his own half, so he cannot be offside.
Yeah.
So just a defender's protection and to keep the game tight enough, you stay on the last line. The last defender stays on the halfway line. No higher than that, in my opinion. And they're just a bit higher up. Okay, to be fair, Haaland wasn't in behind them from the start of the action, but you give Haaland space to run into, he's going to beat anyone.
Yeah, definitely. I was like...
It was too easy, yeah. You see, he's asking now just to get it in behind them. That's what Haaland wants.
Yeah. I just don't know what you do with Haaland, like one-on-one with a keeper. With say like Salah, you move on to his right foot or something. But Haaland, you can either score his left or right, do a dink or
yeah, it's just so dangerous there. Oh, and Koeman's missed a decent chance there in the Mainz game. Where I think the defenders really dealt with that really well. And Mainz are holding on. Fair play to them. But Haaland, so now that's 25 goals in 26 games, Bundesliga games this season. It's a shame that Lewandowski is around now as well, because Lewandowski, 35 goals in what? I think it's 25 games or 26.
Yeah.
Mad stats from both of them. Then you've got Andre Silva on 24 goals, having played 28 games. So not as clinical. I mean, not that clinical, is it? That this Andre Silva, 24 goals. It's not that much. So it was Delaney who got the pass through to Haaland. And running at such speed, defender breathing down his neck, decisive finish. So he takes that from within his own half, that Haaland.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
The speed at which he can run, he's 6'4", so you'd expect him to be a target man. Oh no, wait, Dahoud gave the pass to him. Sorry, I thought it said 6 on his back, it was Dahoud. So we're not seeing much of Weghorst in this game. The crosses haven't been good enough from Wolfsburg. Or Dortmund have been very disciplined, actually. I think a lot of credit has to be given to them this match. And Haaland again keeping the ball, and Guerrero's got space to run into. So delicate with the ball. Oh, and Royce has done well to win the ball back up the pitch. That's got to be a foul. Yeah, and Otario's got a yellow card, rightly so. So I think we missed that before. I mean, Phillips came off for Bracalo and Mbambu came off for Bialek. Wait, did he? Yeah. So Wolfsburg really going for it now. Well, going for it. I mean, I'm a bit late on the change on the substitutes there. I think they're playing with a back three now, Wolfsburg. And another shot has gone wide there for Wolfsburg. Baku this time. Yeah, it's just gone wide. Wasn't a bad shot, but not on target again from Wolfsburg. So Dortmund have actually had more shots on target the second half. They had 3 on target, whereas Wolfsburg have had 1. Yeah, it seems weird to say for Wolfsburg with a player like Weghorst in their team that just haven't been clinical enough today. Or decisive in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, he's only really had that one chance.
They haven't really had clear-cut chances, have they? Despite their XG that was actually high in the first half, maybe just an accumulation of so many shots that were a bit wishful, but that made them have an XG of 0.7 in the first half. I just think it's that. And Haaland's committed the foul there. It's not a foul he had to give away there. Didn't have to do that, Haaland. On Lacroix. I mean, you want to kill time. You don't want to give Wolfsburg the chance to get on the ball easily.
No.
Now it's Baku again. Oh my god. it's just having a terrible game, Baku. Bad touch there that takes it out of play and throw into Dortmund deep into their own half. And so this could be a turning point in both teams' seasons. So Frankfurt now, they're playing against Bayer Leverkusen later today, I think it is. If Frankfurt get a draw, that can make this top 4 race very interesting. If they lose as well, it's also very interesting. Dortmund will still be 1 point behind them.
Yeah.
And then Leverkusen start catching up slowly on 50 points, but it'd be too much. And De Hu looking to clear his lines. Gets out to Piszczek, but it's a bit heavy, the pass. Oh. And Piszczek looks in trouble. Schläger on the ball. He's got time to pass it to... Who is this? Can't even see the names properly. Baku looking to get a cross in. Guerrero deals with it well. Out for a throw-in. And Weghorst looks to get in. Oh, the ball's gone out for a throw-in. Not throw-in, sorry, a goal kick. Yeah, Wolfsburg are actually suffering from the same problems that Dortmund had in the first half. It's just that final ball into Dortmund's final third has just been wrong every time. Just thinking about before when Arnold tried slipping it in, but everyone thought he was going to shoot, so all on their heels. I think Dortmund can be impressed with taking a point or getting a win from such a situation. It's not been exactly convincing, but this is against the side that are currently third, so being down for most of the half to 10 men, getting another goal, I mean, it's encouraging for Dortmund.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But Wolfsburg can probably... It's worrying, Wolfsburg. I don't see Wolfsburg getting back into this match now. I think there's too much to do. And Wolfsburg notably rarely draw games. I'm not sure they've drawn a game all of this calendar year. If someone knows, please correct me. But I don't think they've drawn a single game in this calendar year. Guerrero to take the throw in now. Dortmund just trying to run down the clock a bit. Delaney just boots it forward. I don't know what that was for.
They've got the problem of they ever commit attacking and Haaland will just punish him.
That's the thing. You know that Haaland, if you give him the space, he'll punish you. He did that in the first half. He did that in the second half. He's just constantly a threat. And because Dortmund is so well positioned defensively, it's not even like Wolfsburg can make any decent runs in behind. They're just staying static. So how do you expect that ball to go into the 16-yard box if there's no real movement from Wolfsburg? I think it's a bit of both of Dortmund defending well, but Wolfsburg not really doing much.
No.
And De Hu just clearing it now. Haaland can't run after that one.
The fatigue settling in now. Like,
Yeah, but I hope it doesn't hit them too hard because they could have Frankfurt and Dortmund both creeping up behind them
yeah,
soon enough. Okay, Wolfsburg won midweek against Stuttgart, but there was 2 defeats before that, one against Bayern Munich and one against Frankfurt. And the one against Frankfurt could be decisive. If Frankfurt do finish ahead of Wolfsburg and Dortmund finish ahead of
yeah,
Wolfsburg, then they'll be shooting themselves in the foot. They'll be kicking themselves, having lost 4-3 that game. Yeah, Piszczek really taking his time to take this throw in now.
yeah.
I'm sure that the amount of time he spent could be a bookable offence. And Royce giving it to Haaland. Can he put him in? And Haaland's done well to get it back out to Delaney. Guerrero's in decent position. Can he cross it into Royce? He does. And Haaland, nearly gets on the end of that. Well defended. I think that's by Arnold again. Who defends that? That was a good, as a decent header across the box for Haaland to get. But I think Arnold clears it well there. And they're both coming alive in the second half, Haaland and Royce, when going forward. I think Royce has done a lot better in the second half than the first one. Now Dortmund's trying to keep the ball, even if they are down to 10 men. And Hazard is on the pitch, didn't even notice. Who's has come off for... Let's get out for Memedy. And it's Royce coming off for Meunier now. And can Weghorst do something with the ball here? Akanji looks to be under some pressure here. And Schleger's cross is terrible. Yeah, they're not really doing much now, Wolfsburg. They've got possession, but they're not really bringing much to the game.
They don't seem to have much idea when it gets to the final third.
Well, the same idea isn't working of just trying to get it into the box.
Yeah.
I think if they get one decent cross and Weghorst is on the end of it, then they can be a bit more hopeful. But Akanji's really just intercepting most of these balls.
Yeah.
And Glasner doesn't even look too bothered. Just a bit like that's how it goes. Terzic still looks hyped. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I think he's given himself a good impression. I mean, it didn't start well for Terzic, but he was coming off the back of a, let's say, disastrous reign from Favre. So he might be a bit grieved, as I mentioned also before, that Rose is getting a job and not him. Because his win percentage is much better than Rose's since it was announced that Rose would be Dortmund manager. So, does he find another club afterwards? I hope for his sake, yes. I found some of his coaching or choices a bit questionable, but you can't, if he gets 4th spot for Dortmund, then, and the way they were in the Champions League, getting knocked out by City was no big shame, but he did well against Sevilla. I think they still did well against City. I think Terzic, and he could win a cup. He could win the DFB Pokal Cup. So,
Oh yeah.
I think Terzic has put himself in a decent light, and Haaland's in here, well defended by Otario.
I think he was very unlucky in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, I mean the first goal for Bellingham could have been given, or should have been given, shall we say?
Yeah.
Um, got Greg asking again. Asking now about Union Berlin. Is it still 2-0? No, it's 3-1 now. So Bahajan Chimpalo has got a hat trick. Scored the first in the 50th, then in the 53rd, then in the 67th. Quick hat trick there. And Selassie has just got a consolation for Bremen in the 82nd minute. So it's 3-1 now there. And to update a bit in the other games, Freiburg are drawing 1-1 now. It's still 2-0 to Mainz in this Bayern Munich game, which I think is good for the league. Union Berlin 3-1 as just mentioned, and still 2-0 in this match. And Schlager on the ball to Lacroix. To Arnold.
Bundesliga hat trick as well.
It's what?
A proper Bundesliga hat trick.
Yeah, they don't count as a hat trick.
They've got in one half, don't they?
Do you know if it's a perfect hat trick? Have you?
Oh no, it's in the Bundesliga. It's got to be in the same half.
That's true. It's got to be It's got to be with one with the head, one with the right foot, one with the left foot.
Oh, the perfect one.
Yeah, that's how they call it a hat trick. I think there's something like that where you have to score in everywhere possible.
Yeah.
I think Glasner, it's just his idea was to throw more strikers on, hope it'd work, because that's the 3 substitutes he's made so far. So Brekalo, Bielek, and Mehmedi are all strikers. They're all forward players. So not strikers in number 9 positions, but they're forward players, and it's just worked. If you've got a low block defensively like Dortmund are playing now, when Wolfsburg are attacking, they're organised. So it's not by putting more numbers in that you're going to trouble them. Maybe bring on a player that's deeper who can pull that defence out of position and create that space. I just come up with the stats today for who's ran the fastest today, and it's Haaland again with 35.99 kilometers an hour. That's crazy. That is really fast. When you think about Kylian Mbappe, who's known as one of the fastest, just about getting, I think it's under 37 kilometers an hour. So they're not far off speed-wise.
Sounds like Olympic speed as well.
It is, to be fair. I'm trying to think, 37 kilometers an hour. So just do the calculations now. I'm going to round up to 36 because 0.99 we can say is 1.
Yeah.
The cross comes in now. Oh, he's just missed it. I can't see who that is, number 21 for Wolfsburg. Yeah, I think it's Bielek, the Polish striker, 19-year-old. He's probably been the better of the substitutes so far for Wolfsburg, actually trying to get into decent positions, and you see he gets into the box there. It's just unfortunate to miss the ball. And Haaland looks like he's fouled there by Brooks, was it? Oh no, Brooks is bleeding from the mouth. And it's Meunier who's shown a yellow card. Meunier's been on the pitch for what, 5 minutes? Oh, his elbow goes right into Brooks' face. Yeah, deserved yellow card from Meunier. That's the Qua on the ball. Brekalo. Can he get a decent cross in? And it's a terrible cross again. It's another really bad cross from Wolfsburg. This is why they're not getting goals. Or getting any chances. You put in terrible crosses every time and you're not going to get goals. And they've seen that today.
Weghorst hasn't really had any service at all.
I'd be surprised if he's touched the ball even more than 15 times. Yeah, and he looks disappointed there himself. Because Brooks is actually his mouth bleed has got even worse. He's got blood all over his shirt. That could have been a red for Meunier. No, there wasn't enough force in that. There was no real swing, but it's definitely clumsy.
Yeah, it was.
So Brooks just putting some tissue in his mouth, change of shirt, good to go. But now they're down to 10 men as well, Wolfsburg. So. And Meunier looks like he can run in and get across here for Haaland. Haaland was just a bit late getting into the box. Now it's Hazard. Tries dribbling around. Nope, dealt with by Wolfsburg. If Wolfsburg want to get a chance here, they probably have to break quickly. See it. Wolfsburg have a chance to run at Dortmund's defence, but they wait until Delaney and Dahoud get back, so they're not really going to create proper chances when you know that all their crosses today have been awful. When they've got a chance to run at Dortmund's defence, they go slow again. And Haaland's got the ball. Can he cross it in? That was a terrible cross.
Yeah,
It was almost as if he tried shooting and he just dragged it more and more wide. Went out for a throw-in.
Munich still 2-0.
It's still 2-0 in Munich, in Mainz. So it's another defeat for Bayern this season if it ends like that. Haven't lost in the league since they lost to Frankfurt 2-1. So
Leipzig must be kicking themselves.
well, there have been chances. Bayern Munich have slipped up every now and then. Not too long ago they drew against Union Berlin and Leipzig couldn't capitalise on that. Oh, Haaland's in here. It's him against Brooks. Is he going to make the right choice? Is he going to get past Brooks? Nope. Brooks deals with that admirably. And Haaland knows he should have done better himself. I think Haaland just tried doing one of the oldest tricks in the book when you're a striker and you don't know what sort of dribble to do. You lift the ball up and the defender doesn't know how to defend it, but Brooks dealt with that well.
Yeah, he did well.
I think Brooks has done alright today just generally. He was too high up for that second goal, and the first goal, well, there's an error from his own player. Baku's on the ball, he's got space. Unless he's closed down by Delaney. It's Arnold, he's going to take a shot. Yep, bounces off Dahoud. It's a corner for Wolfsburg. So, 90 minutes gone, there's 4 minutes of added time in this match. Forgot to mention that before, yeah. Wolfsburg, I'd be surprised if they get a goal here. I'd be surprised if any of the matches change, really. So Freiburg is still a draw. Mainz will win. Union Berlin will win. And Dortmund look like they'll get the win here. The cross comes in. And Arnold is... Oh no, it's Schlager. Just gets under the ball there. Can't get a proper header on it. But again, Dortmund have done well to defend like they have today.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing we could have criticised Dortmund about. It's usually making silly errors and defensively being, shall I say, asleep. Today, concentration the whole way through. Now the goal kick. Haaland gets on the end of it. Is he there, Meunier? He is. And he's got himself thrown. Might create a decent chance here, Meunier. So, is there a particular player who's impressed you today there, Stu?
You got, well, obviously Haaland's the obvious one, but Akanji I think played like really well as well.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Kanji. I think he must be top of the interceptions list. If
Yeah,
you count those
definitely.
headers of them, he's been quite exemplary.
especially when they struggle quite defensively. Usually Dortmund do, so he's done well to like lead that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking a bit of the stats, and it actually really highlights a lot of what Royce had done today. So Royce has, oh no, wait, Haaland and Otavio and Royce have won quite a lot of duels all today. Royce, I think, has completed the most dribbles, most crosses as well out of his team. So, I mean, I was disappointed in Royce in the first half, but the second half he did come alive, especially when Dortmund went down to 10 men. Him and Haaland's link-up play up at the top of the pitch was pretty nice to see. But then there's no looking past the guy who's got the 2 goals in the game, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Haaland, who else does really well in that second goal? I mean, first of all, in the first goal, pounces on the chance, but the second goal, and it's over here, 2-0 to Dortmund. Again, it's one of those things, is it too easy giving man of the match to the guy who has scored 2 goals? Maybe. But if you look at expected goals, it's 1.4 to Wolfsburg and 1.5 to Dortmund, so not that much difference, but Wolfsburg were just, how to say it, having a lot of wishful shots, just hoping that it'd go in, and they were all pretty bad. Their finishing today was terrible, let's be honest. Oh, and Bayern have scored in this game. Late on, it's Lewandowski. So
Bayern might just switched to Munich.
So 4 minutes of added time in the 4th minute. So this could be the last kick of the game, and terrible mistake from Mainz, and the ball drops down to Lewandowski, and such a cool finish there. I mean, what is the Mainz player doing? And that's terrible clearance from the defender there from Hack.
Yeah, it is.
That's a terrible header, but Lewandowski, the way he takes it down and then just, that was a very underrated goal. If people aren't going mad about it, it's a brilliant goal from Bayern Munich, or from Lewandowski, and it's ended here as well. So the only game still going is the Freiburg-Hoffenheim game. So 1-1 to Freiburg, between Freiburg and Hoffenheim. Mainz beat Bayern Munich 2-1. Wait, it's coming up on the screen 2-0 here. Have they not counted Lewandowski's goal? They have. Union Berlin win 3-1 against Werder Bremen. Here, Dortmund 2, Wolfsburg 0. Another brace from Haaland. He's back onto it, Haaland. After not having scored against Union Berlin midweek, he's got a goal here. He's got another brace here today. And still second in that top scorers list, just one ahead of Andre Silva, but 11 behind Lewandowski.
Yeah, not catching that.
And this puts Dortmund in a very strong position now. They're actually getting points where they need them, and 1 point off 4th. Okay, a game played more, but Leverkusen could do Dortmund a favour tonight and beat them, and that can make things really interesting. Wolfsburg aren't guaranteed top 4 either, so disappointing performance today. Really disappointing. They didn't have any big players out. They just didn't turn up. It was slow. The crosses were really poor. I'd be very disappointed if there was Glasner. I think Wolfsburg could have put up a better fight and not just. I think he also did a lot wrong, which was just put on strikers. Let's just put on strikers. They're not opening up spaces there in Dortmund's defense. It was easy to defend against. Dortmund kept their shape, which Dortmund, granted, they don't really do often, but they did today. And Wolfsburg couldn't create any real chances despite having taken so many from outside the box. No problem for hits when they were on target, which is again a rare occasion. And Dortmund just punished them, and that's when you got a world class player like Haaland, he'll jump on those occasions, and that's exactly what he did. There's the difference. Maybe between Weghorst and Haaland today, you could see that one is just superior to the other, and that's harsh on Weghorst to be fair, but Haaland was a difference maker today, and Dortmund were un-Dortmund like. So yeah, that was it for 2-0, but 2-0 for Dortmund today. It's an okay match. They look tired, so I think we get into the end of the season now where we start seeing quite poor performances. It was poor from Wolfsburg. Who would you give man of the match then for this match, Stu?
I think you have to give it to Haaland.
It's the obvious one, isn't it? When we have these streams, it's so easy when someone has a brace and you're just like, oh, yeah, man of the match, yeah, there.
Yeah.
But as you said before, Akanji was also quite exemplary. I thought Dahoud did a decent job
Yeah,
in
he was.
midfield, which I'm not a big fan of Dahoud. Bellingham was silly to get that second yellow card, which means that Bellingham will be out for the Leipzig game, will he? Or will he be out for the DF Pokal game? I'm not sure if it works the
Oh,
same way in German football, like in British football, where you're suspended for the cup games as well if you get a suspension in league competition. If so, then Bellingham might be able to get a rest this midweek or next weekend, is it? And then play the Leipzig game for Dortmund's hunt for top four. So yeah, that was Dortmund, Wolfsburg versus Dortmund, and thank you all for joining us, liking, commenting, and subscribing as usual. Uh, Always good to have you on, Stu. We'll
oh,
surely
thanks
see
for
you again.
having
We'll see each other again. Yeah, thank you for keeping me company, and
me.
say to everyone now, thanks for joining us, and don't forget tonight we've got UFC. Luke will be on, so we'll see how that turns out. It should be a terrific fight tonight. Whoever's playing, I'm not too sure. And always, don't forget to also share with anyone the channel. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again. Bye for
I'll
now.
see you.